Yes, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Lecturer. This is me presenting my coursework in a YouTube video, later on uploaded on GitHub as the instruction says. Basically, if I take you through what I did in my coursework, so basically here are the customer numbers where you don't see from 1 up to 20. Then you don't see the return of time, arrival time, service time, start, service time, then the end service time, then the time in the system, then the idle time, then you're going to see the average time in system. And each one of these, I'm going to take you through it. So let's come to the intern of time. Basically, the intern of time is like the time that the customer comes and it will space out from one of the 15 numbers. So when you click here on the 15 time, you don't see the first cell here, it equals to 0, where the first customer haven't come yet, so basically it's going to equal to 0. Then from the second one, you're going to take the formula which says random between. Here it's going to bid for you a number between 1 and 15 randomly. So that's the number of the arriving in terms of the time in 15 minutes. That's one. So in the second is arrival time is the time when the customer arrives. Is the time when the customer arrives. Well, if I go forward, uh, when you click on the first one, it shows you 0. So basically, the customer just arrived, so it's going to be equal to 0. You go to the second one, it's going to say you the arrival time is equals to the arrival time plus the previous turn of time. You can see C2 plus P3. The next one is the service time, is the time that the service starts. So basically, here you don't to pick a random between them, which starts from 6 minutes. So we assuming that the first customer has taken only 16 minutes. You go then the numbers will be start to be picked randomly. All right. So if I go forward, you're going to come to the next one. Sorry for that one. Yeah, if I go to the start the service time, so when I click on it, here it shows you that the first customer or the starting time start from the C2, which equals to here. So basically the customer just arrived and the service started to him. So basically it starts to 0. So when you go to the second one, here you're going to take the maths where you're going to take the arrival time and also the end time. That's when you don't see the starting time. You go to the next one, which shows you the end of the service. How long does it take? And here you don't see the starting time plus the service time. Here you see the time of the time of the service, where it's going to be the end of the service. The time during the system it takes in minutes, so it will be the time of the service minus the internal time. Lastly, you go to the idle time, where in the idle time, is between the customers is calculated as idle time equals to the max 0 service start time, customers in N, and minus the service end time. All right. So basically, and what matters is when you click here, notice that there's a if here. So which important is that the starting time should be greater than the arrival time, so that we don't get any negative numbers. Then normally you do the operation, which is the starting time minus the arrival time. So here we are done. So we go to the average, and the average time system is going to take this whole column, and the answer is here directly. So it is G2 starting from here, then we don't divide to the whole column, which give us the average of the operation basically. You go to the second one, which is the service time, total service time, and here is going to be the sum of D2, which is here, the service time, uh, which is also going to take the whole column of the C service time until the last cell. You go to the next one, which is the total idle time, which will be uh, the sum of the whole column of this one, which is it. And also, by the way, these numbers keep changing because of the random number that whenever you refresh the page, it keep changing. You go to the next one, which is the idle time percentage, which is actually equals to the here. You go here, you take the G3, which is equal to the total, which is equals total idle time, and we already told the total idle time came from here. Then you divide it by the amount that is already in the structure, which is 3 hours, which equals to 120 minutes. That's one. So basically, I finish from here. You go to the second search sheet, which is like to generate 50 customers randomly. So basically, you going to pick the replication here from 1 up to 50. You can see it's up to 50. Then you don't pick the average time system, then the performance, where you don't pick the formula. Here is equal to row minus 1, and also here is equals to the customer, the average of the customer, and here. Then you don't pick the analyze in. Then lastly, you don't then you it's going the system is going to pick automatically the numbers. So I'm ending here. This is the total of my Excel. Thank you for listening.